Well, I come from a family of 4. 3 girls and 1 boy. It so happens that I came in as the firstborn. So many challenges faced by the firstborns. When I was 7, I lost my dad while on duty in Karamoja as he was working with the army. So I missed the father-daughter connection, something that still hurts my feelings today. But nevertheless, my mom gotten into a second marriage as a second wife and gave birth to my sister Dorcas. However, things did not work out well with her co-wife and my stepdad, because I remember I used to witness fights day and night, day out, and couldn't go on with the marriage. She divorced, opted for a third marriage. Yeah, my mother was a strong woman. May her soul continue to rest in the third marriage. She gave birth to our third born, Tina, and things were moving on well in the first year. She gave birth to our last born brother, Solomon. However, when she was pregnant for Solomon, my stepdad married a second wife. And that marked the beginning of a painful experience to my mother. She was so hurt. She was so bitter. She lost everything. But I thank God that despite of all the situation that my mom was going through, parenting was her passion. She gave birth to Solomon, and Solomon became her everything as a new baby boy and the only boy out of 3 girls. She could do anything for Solomon. And we were excited as well. Unfortunately, when Solomon was 9 months, we lost my mom. Tina was 7, Dorcas was 10, I was 12, and that's why I call myself a mother 12. Being a mother at 12, it is such a difficult, painful experience because you don't have experience, you have no idea. It was an experience that I always live to remember. Things did not work out well. So we had to transition from urban life to rural life. Arriving in the village, things were not moving well. I remember we used to have a meal, just 1 meal a day, attending school without shoes, in a very remote school, no computers, no libraries. Teachers were teaching in the local language, and I felt like giving up with education. However, since I was young, I had a dream. I wanted to study and become a lawyer. So with that situation, I knew my dream is gone. Meanwhile, the uncle who was left in our custody, he was as well getting tired of the situation. I missed my secondary year, the first year, in disguise that there was no money. And indeed, I could see that there was no money. So I stayed home. Staying home was another difficult, stressful moment. You know, as you know, in our societies, children belong to everyone, especially in Africa. So the people in my community, in our community, used to give different advices to my uncle. Some were like, no, let the girl get married so that she can get support and look after herself, at the same time, her brothers and sisters. At that particular moment, this sounded a well-versed idea, but again, at the back of my mind, I was like, no, I think I need to study. I need to pursue my dream. So all the arrangements were done. And on this day, this old rich man comes home without even me knowing that, oh, he's coming to have a discussion. However, he came home because he wanted to have a one-on-one with me, as it was planned with my uncle. And the man was 45 years, who wants to marry Sylvia of 15 years old. And that marked the beginning of me getting married at 15 years. So I was so bitter about it. And I asked the man, well, sir, you want to marry me. Do you think this is a great idea? On top of that, this old man, 45 years, his firstborn was 15 years, and she was in school. Then I was like, no, if you want to marry me, take me back to school, and then we get married after school. Unfortunately, he couldn't buy the idea. So the man left and told my uncle, you know what? Think about it. I'm here, I'm ready. And you get back to me if she decides. That day, I got to know the anger of my uncle. He was so bitter. He called me all sorts of names. He told me how I'm going to fail in life. But to me, that was kind of just writing, on a piece of paper. At the end of the day, it fades. So he gave me two options: to either get married or leave her home, or leave his home. And I said, I politely left his home and ran to my auntie's home, whom I also thought that she's a mother, and at the same time she's an auntie, an old woman. I thought she could understand. I ran to her, explained to her everything, my story, and then my aunt was like, no, Sylvia, that was wrong. You missed such an opportunity, whereby it was an opportunity where you needed not to hustle. Yes, you want to study, go to school, and after school, get married. But yes, check, God has given you a very wealthy man without hustle. Do you know how many people are yearning to get married to the man? I was like, yes, you're right. But what if he takes me back to school and then we get married afterwards? But on top of that, my auntie, her firstborn, who happens to be my cousin, she was at the university pursuing her degree. Then I asked her, I have my cousin. What if she goes in? Because at least for her, she's on a certain level of education. Then my auntie was like, no, the man is interested in you, not my daughter. And I was like, okay. She also called me all sorts of names. Again, a failure. And then, this is when I got to understand that in most cases, the words we speak, the words we tell each other, will always be a reminder to humankind. She also gave me options to either leave her home or get married. But I also insisted I want to go back to school. So they talked with the man. The man decided to take me back to school. But guess what? The school he took me to was a driving school. I wasn't even eligible to drive a car. And I was like, no, I want to go to school. We can get married after school. I also took the opportunity. I was like, okay, let me go in. I remember I went there for only 1 week. The second week, I ran away and stayed with my childhood friend And that marked the turning point for my life. The father of my childhood friend took me back to school. I went back to school. I was so active in different sports, basketball and athletics, which paved way for my bursaries. So I studied for free, my ordinary level and advanced level, because of my talent. As if that wasn't enough, I was so happy, I was so lucky that I managed to go through this. But there are so many young girls out there who are going through this. So because of this experience that I went through, because of the anger, I channeled all this anger to being a voice, voiceless. Because I needed my anger to be worthy something. I'm a co-founder, Safe Schools Uganda, an organization that works to improve children's access to quality education. In Uganda, 1 in every 2 girls is getting married before the age of 18 years. This is alarming because girls are being deprived of opportunities for the future. At such a time, girls do not have a say. They are prone to violence from partners, child labor, teenage pregnancies. This results in higher risks of dying in childbirth, in early childbearing. I'm proud to say that I'm doing something about early marriages. Ask yourself, what are you doing about it? This is happening in our beloved Uganda. It is happening to every one of us. It can happen either to you or your daughter or your friend's daughter, but it is happening. It is happening, and it is the reality that it is happening. My fellow ladies and gentlemen, we need to come together and say no to such evil acts and embrace education. Personally, I believe that education beats poverty and promotes gender equality. There is one quote that I love most, that ending child marriages, preventing early childbearing, and promoting educational opportunities, it's not only the right thing to do, but it is a smart investment to the development of Uganda. As you in the audience, where do you want to see Uganda? Please join me. Evil acts. Thank you.